Hello everybody and welcome to the Wealth Tree. My name is Hugo and I'll be talking today about a couple that essentially has a cash flow of $500 and they were still debating where to start, what to pay, and we're essentially going to go over the method of Avalanche versus Velocity Banking and how and why Velocity Banking is a lot better. Alright, so the first things first is Avalanche method. Cash flow of $500, and in this case only we're going to use two credit cards because they were debating on where to start and whatnot, and one of them is SNOWBALL is lowest balance first, Avalanche is highest interest first, right? So those two methods differ a little bit and essentially how fast are you going to pay your first debt. So they decided to go with Avalanche, reason being they want to save as much interest, as much payment, as much money as possible, okay? So in this case, there's two credit cards. Credit card number one, $2,887 with 10% interest rate, $80 a month, and essentially they pay $24.06 in interest, right, a month. That's essentially what the credit card charges for you having the balance, for borrowing the money, right? Credit card number two has a $38.25 and a 23.20%, right, interest rate, $111 a month. That's $72.94 in interest, okay? So according to the Avalanche method, the payoff of credit card number two, which is essentially the one that we're gonna attack right now, it's 8 months. And I want to make this video so they can understand and everybody can understand what is the difference, one of the biggest difference between the Avalanche or the regular SNOWBALL method and Velocity Banking. And I understand Velocity Banking is a little different or a lot different than what I'm going to explain here. You're supposed to put all your money into your debt tool. In this case, they do not have a debt tool. We're going to use this with credit cards. So, and it's incredible to see what you can do with just credit cards, okay? So first things first, I'm going to talk a little bit about credit card number one and explain what are we going to do there. So what are we going to do with credit card number one is we're only going to put in credit card number one the groceries, okay? So anything that they have to buy with groceries, that's what they're going to put in this credit card. And we are not going to pay the monthly payment. Now, hear me out. They owe $28.87, and the daily interest rate is pretty much 79 cents, right? At that 10%, that's essentially what they paid in interest. Out of those $80, 24 again are in interest only. And what we're gonna do is, here I break a whole month out, right? And this month, every 7 days, they're gonna get some groceries. So first month or first 2 days, they're probably not going to need anything. They already have something. So third day, they're going to go and going to spend $150 in the credit card. They're going to swipe the credit card. They're going to buy all the groceries. And then that same day, they're going to pay their $150 in cash to the credit card, like if they're using it for cash. A couple things. They get cash back, just a little bit. I think it's 1%. And two is this money that they just swipe is not gonna register until next month, right? So essentially, they are delaying the interest rate that it gets charged to, okay? So that's why first 2 days they get charged 79 cents, and then the third day to the 10th day, which is 7 days, right? It's a week, they're gonna get charged 75 cents a day, right? And now the other thing that I wanna explain is because they pay these $150, that suffices the $80 minimum payment that they have to make, so that they technically don't have to make any minimum payment or a monthly payment anymore, right? We're going to do the same thing here. And day number 10, they're going to swipe their credit card with $150, and then they're going to immediately pay the credit card $150. So once again, this is going to take 30 to 60 days depending on the time that they actually swipe the card to actually accrue interest. So we're saving some money there. So they're going to pay 71 cents from day 10 to day 17. Okay, same thing. We swipe the card, we paid right away, and from the 17 to the 24, they're only going to pay 67 cents, so on and so forth. The 24 to the 31st, they only pay 63 cents, and from there on they only pay 59 cents, right? So the last day is only 7 days of this and one of 59 cents. So that comes to a total of 20.86. This is what they pay in interest, okay? So I understand if there's no minimum monthly, if there's no payment that is actually made to the credit card, that will accumulate. But hear me out. This is why Velocity Banking is so much better, okay? So we're gonna go to credit card number 2, all right? So here, this column is gonna be all balance, and after we pay, what they're paying and when they're paying it, and then the daily accrued interest rate and the 15-day window when they actually have a balance on that, right? So what has occurred in between payments, a total. That's essentially that column over there. All right. So one of the things that I want to talk about is how much they're going to pay, right? They had a $500 cash flow. In Avalanche, you essentially pay your minimum payment here and your minimum payment here, and then you just add your cash flow to whatever you're going to pay. That's one of the reasons why it's going to take 8 months, right? So in this case, because we're paying this 150, actually we're paying close to $450, right? So there's no minimum monthly payment that you have to put. So what we're going to do is we're going to use the $500 of cash flow, right? The $111 that essentially is the minimum payment. We're still going to pay. We're going to add all that money. We're going to pay it regardless, and we're going to add that $80. So we are shifting $80 from credit card number 1 into credit card number 2. And that's going to accelerate a lot faster, okay? So it brings me from $500 to $691, almost $200 increase right out of the bat, right? Into the cash flow. That's why, again, Velocity Banking is so much better. So we're going to start with the balance of $38.25, right? So $38.25. The daily interest rate is $243, and essentially they get paid every 15 days. So I'm going to put the 15th and the 30th, right? The 15th and the 30th. So in the 15th, they get paid immediately. They're going to pay $345. Where I got the $345, it's half of 690. I'm not going to put the 50 cents in there, but regardless, it's $345, right? So $345 is going to go into the principal, right? It's still accruing some interest. So the daily interest rate is $221 now. I want to point something else out. You see how here the interest rate, the daily interest rate is 0.79. It's almost 80 cents. Here is $2.43. That's 3 times the amount of interest gets accumulated in this credit card. Okay, that's one of the reasons why we're going to try to move the payment that we were already going to pay here and attack only one thing at a time, and that way maximize our dollars. Okay, so we go back here. Now we went down from 243 to 221 a day. That's the daily accrued interest rate, right? Total between the 1st and the 15th, from the 15th to the 30th, it gets accrued $69.60. All right, that then gets added into our balance. So after paying the 15th and the 30th, now we end up with a $31.35 balance plus the $69.60. That's $32.04.60. Okay, so now another reason why we're paying not a month. Every time we get paid, we put as much as we can into this credit cards is because the daily accrued interest rate is another thing that we're going to save a ton of money on, right? If you're already going to pay $72, every dollar and every penny that gets back into your pocket, that's a win, okay? So in this case, we are going to pay, instead of one monthly, we're going to pay twice a month, and that's going to save us some money in the meantime, okay? So again, first month, second month, we are at $32.04. Daily accrued interest rate is $2.04. We save already 40 cents, pretty much, in interest rate. That's going to be at $30.60 every 15 days. We do our payment, $345. That's $2,859, right? that brings us to under $2, $1.82 a day. Okay, so which comes out in 15 days to $27.30. Okay, and then now I'm going to add, is the end of the month, so I'm going to add the interest that occurred during that month back into the credit card. So from 25.14 we went up to 25.72. Okay, so now the accrued interest from there to from the 1st to the 15th is going to be 164, right? Which is almost just in about a month or 2 months, we almost cut that interest rate in half, right? Again, the interest was 3 times the amount of interest I paid over here. Now we already pretty much cut it in half. We pay again $22.27.50, and our daily accrued interest rate is $1.42, which now I'm paying $45.90. Look at how much we're paying in interest on a monthly basis compared to what we were paying here, right? We're talking about, I'm almost saving $30. It's 20 some dollars, right? So the 20 some dollars that I'm paying over here, I'm already saving it over there just by moving some of the cash flow from one to another, right? And now this is 4th month, 1928.40, $1.23 an interest rate only. That's 18.45 in the 15-day period. The 15th of that month is 1,583 because we paid $3.45. It's $1.01. 15.15 in interest rate, a total of $33.60. Look how much we jumped from there to there. We're jumping about $12 savings in interest every month just by doing this switch, okay? And then the 5th month, $12.72, 81 cents. It took us 5 months pretty much to go from paying 3 times the amount to have the same amount of payments in interest, okay? Just in interest, and it's because of the high interest credit card that they have, right? And that's one of the things that we're trying to do when we do velocity banking. We're trying to figure out where do we save the most amount of money, okay? And then, so now it's 81 cents a day. That comes to $12.15. 900, we paid $3.45. That's $927. 59 cents a day. That's a total of $21. $21, right? So we finally brought down, after 5 months, paying the same amount of interest. Look how little I have to how small the balance has to be for me to pay the same amount, right? And that's why I'm not really paying this, even though it's occurring $20 a month, because the most is going to occur here is $120. In 2 months that if I keep paying this just regular, it's $140. In 2 months that I'm paying interest, it's $140, right? So again, we shift most of our money to focus on one thing at a time, attack that and focus on it, and then 6 months, 603. After adding the interest rate, right, that has occurred, we added to it is 603. 38 cents a day. That comes to $5.70 for 15 days, and then the 15th is 258. That's 17 cents a day. That's 255 days from the 15th to the 30th, and in the 30th we completely pay this credit card. 6 months, 8 months. Okay, 6 months, 8 months. We saved 2 months. Now you have $691 to do whatever you want, technically, right? But what we're going to do is then we're going to, of course, start attacking our next step. But essentially, I wanted to show how shifting $80, right, additionally, because the reason why this was so fast is first because we're using velocity banking, and second, because we're adding those $80, right? Because in Avalanche, we're only going to put $500 on top of those $1,100 or $111, and that's what's going to be $611. But by adding those $80, we were able to cut 2 months of a debt, All right, that's $140 in interest rate, which I'm saving over here, which is only 6 times 2 is $120, right? And now I can bring those $691 all the way into this debt and then clear it out, right? Hope this cleared up some questions. If you guys have any questions, put a comment. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Please, it will help my channel. I'm fairly new. I'm starting on this. I really enjoy helping others. I want to help you get out of debt. And the other thing is, every video or every strategy has to be different. Everybody has a different scenario in their lives, and not because this numbers work for them means it's going to work for you. So please, if you have any question, book a call. I have a link in the description. Thank you so much, and God bless.